Just as a storm throws down a weak tree, so does Mara overpower the man who lives for the pursuit of pleasures, who is uncontrolled in his senses, immoderate in eating, indolent and dissipated. Just as a storm cannot prevail against a rocky mountain, so Mara can never overpower the man who lives meditating on the impurities, who is controlled in his senses, moderate in eating, and filled with faith and earnest effort.
Sloth defeats spirituality and spiritual strength is undefeatable. The Story of Monk Mahakala. While residing in the neighborhood of the town of Sitavya, the Buddha uttered these verses with reference to Mahakala and his brother Kulakala. Kulakala, Majjimakala and Mahakala were brothers and they lived in Sitavya. Kulakala and Mahakala, the oldest and youngest respectively, used to travel abroad with their caravan of 500 carts and bring home goods to sell, while Majjimakala sold the goods they brought. Now on a certain occasion, the two brothers, taking wares of various kinds in their 500 carts, set out for Savatthi and halting between Savatthi and Jitavna, unharnessed their carts. In the evening, Mahakala saw noble disciples, residents of Savatthi, with garlands and perfumes in their hands, going to hear the law. "Where are they going?" he asked. Receiving the answer that they were going to hear the law, he thought to himself, "I will go too." So he addressed to his youngest brother, "Dear brother, keep watch over the carts. I am going to hear the law." So saying, he went and paid obeisance to the Buddha and sat down in the outer circle of the congregation. On that day, the teacher preached the law in orderly sequence with reference to Mahakala's disposition of mind, and quoting the sutta on the aggregate of suffering and other suttas, discoursed on the sinfulness and folly and contamination of sensual pleasures. Mahakala, after listening to the discourse, became a monk under the teacher. Kulakala likewise became a monk, but the thought in Kulakala's mind was, "After a time, I will return to the world and take my brother with me." Somewhat later, Mahakala made his full profession and approaching the teacher, asked him, "How many duties are there in this religion?" The teacher informed him that they were 2. Mahakala said, "Venerable, since I became a monk in old age, I shall not be able to fulfill the duty of study, but I can fulfill the duty of contemplation." So he had the teacher instruct him in the practice of meditation in a symmetry which leads to arhatship. At the end of the first watch, when everyone else was asleep, he went to the symmetry, and at dawn, before anyone else had risen, he returned to the monastery. Now, a certain young woman of station was attacked by a disease, and the very moment the disease attacked her, she died in the evening without a sign of old age or weakness. In the evening, her kinsfolk and friends brought her body to the burning ground with firewood, oil, and other requisites, and said to the keeper of the burning ground, "Burn this body." And paying the keeper the usual fee, they turned the body over to her and departed. When the keeper of the burning ground removed the woman's dress and beheld her beautiful golden-hued body, she straightway thought to herself, "This corpse is a suitable subject of meditation to show his reverence." So she went to the Venerable, paid obeisance to him, and said, "I have a remarkably good subject of meditation. Please look at it, Venerable." "Very well," said the Venerable. So he went and caused the dress which covered the corpse to be removed, and surveyed the body from the soles of the feet to the tips of the hair. Then he said, "Throw this beautiful golden-hued body into the fire, and as soon as the tongues of fire have laid hold of it, please tell me." So saying, he went to his own place and sat down. The keeper of the burning ground did as she was told and went to inform the Venerable. The Venerable came and surveyed the body. Where the flames had touched the flesh, the color of her body was like that of a mottled cow. The feet stuck out and hung down. The hands were curled back. The forehead was without skin. The Venerable thought to himself, "This body, which but now caused those who looked thereon to forget the sacred word, has but now attained decay, and now attained death." And going to his night quarters, he sat down, discerning decay and death clearly. Mahakala developed spiritual insight and attained arhatship together with the supernatural faculties. When Mahakala attained arhatship, the Buddha, surrounded by the congregation of monks, traveling from place to place, arrived at Sitavya and entered the Simsapa forest. Kulakala's wives, hearing that the Buddha had arrived, thought to themselves, "Now we shall recover our husband." So they went and invited the Buddha. Now when a visit is expected from the Buddha, it is customary for a single monk to go in advance and give warning. When Kulakala went home to prepare for almsgiving, his wives tore off his robes. Mahakala's 8 wives also thought that they would get their husband to give up the robes. One day, they arranged an almsgiving for the Buddha and the disciples and asked the Buddha to leave Mahakala behind to pronounce the formula of thanksgiving after almsgiving. The Buddha left him at his former home and went away with the other disciples. When the Buddha reached the village gate, the congregation of monks was offended and said, "What a thing for the Buddha to do! Did he do it wittingly or unwittingly? Yesterday, Kulakala came and that was the end of his monastic life. But today, a different monk came and nothing of the sort happened." The Buddha sent Mahakala back and continued on his way. The monks said, "The monk Mahakala is virtuous and upright. Will they put an end to his monastic life?" Mahakala's wives tried to make him a layman, but he rose into the air through his psychic power as an arhat and appeared before the Buddha as he was reciting 2 verses. Monk Mahakala paid obeisance to the Buddha, and the Buddha told the other monks that they were wrong about Arhat Mahakala to compare him with monk Kulakala. This teaching of Buddha Shakyamuni highlights that we get attached to forms, sounds and feelings and then develop hatred and desires, which leads to various actions or karma. We are forgetting that our objects of desire and hatred are not a single entity but composed of many matters. For example, our body is composed of hair, skin, bones, blood, cells and so on. Similarly, the car we love is composed of rubber, metal and plastics. However, neither do we say "I love my car" as it is composed of rubber, metal and wires, nor do we say "I love my wife" because she is made up of blood, skin, bones and cells. Basically, what we love or hate is the illusion of things existing as a single entity. One necessarily doesn't have to reject everything and run into a cave, leaving everything behind. What is crucial on the path to freedom and enlightenment is to understand the illusionary nature of everything.